60 years old. 60! Applying to be a mail carrier. Nuts, dude. I'm telling you, people of the Wild West, they were just a different breed of human being. The Wild West wasn't just built by lawmen and outlaws, cowboys and cattle rustlers. Beneath the dust and blood and whiskey-soaked myths, there are women, fierce, fearless, and forgotten by most history books. Women who fought, rode, shot, hustled, and survived in a world that barely let them breathe, let alone lead. This is Cracked Relic. And today, we're throwing open the saloon doors on 5 women who didn't just ride the Wild West. They owned it. Calamity Jane. I mean, we've all heard the name, right? She was a total badass. I mean, really total badass in the Wild West. To have been known then and known today is a big statement for the women of history. She didn't wear lace, she didn't sit proper, and if you ever made the mistake of underestimating her, you'd probably wake up with a black eye, or not wake up at all. Her name was Martha Jane Cannery, but history remembers her better as Calamity Jane, a whiskey-drinking, gun-toting, no-nonsense hell-raiser who roamed the frontier like it owed her something. She rode with the military, disguised herself as a man, and allegedly saved a captain's life during an Indian skirmish, earning her the nickname Calamity. She could shoot with either hand, ride like the devil was chasing her, and drink most men under the table. She was also fiercely loyal, especially to one man. And you remember me saying this in the last episode. His name was Wild Bill Hickok. When I said they might have known each other, maybe been a little tight in ways, this is what I meant. Some say she was in love with him. Others say she just admired his legend. Either way, when he was murdered, she claimed to have hunted down his killers and died years later still telling tales about their bond. Was she a bit of a bragger? Hell yeah. But in a land of tall tales, Calamity Jane stood tall on her own, likely earning that respect from everybody around her, giving her the rapport of what she was saying was true. And a little known fact too is after she died, she was buried right next to Wild Bill Hickok. Stagecoach Mary. You've heard of Pony Express riders. Rugged, fast, brave. But what if I told you of one of the toughest mail carriers in the Wild West wasn't some wiry cowboy, but a 6-foot-tall black woman who could shoot, spit, and scrap with the best of them? Meet Mary Fields, aka Stagecoach Mary. Born into slavery in Tennessee around 1832, she found freedom and then made sure she never owed anyone a damn thing again. Mary took odd jobs, working in convents, fighting off wolves, and once reportedly punching a nun who got in her face. When she applied to be a mail carrier in Montana at age 60, she was told she'd have to prove herself in a field test. 60 years old. 60! Applying to be a mail carrier. Nuts, dude. I'm telling you, people of the Wild West, they were just a different breed of human being. So she hitched up a team of horses, plowed through snow and ice, and got the mail delivered faster than the young bucks. She got the job. Mary packed a rifle and a revolver, smoked cigars, and wore men's clothes. Bandits avoided her. Locals respected her. The law left her alone. When she died, the entire town of Cascade, Montana shut down for her funeral because when Mary rode through town, rain or shine, everyone knew one thing: the male and the legend was coming. Belle Starr. Some called her a criminal, others called her a queen, but everyone knew one thing: Belle Starr was dangerous. Born Myra May Belle Shirley, she grew up well educated and well dressed, but fell hard for the outlaw life. She ran with Jesse James, the younger brothers, and married Sam Starr, a Cherokee outlaw who helped turn her from partner to ringleader. Belle didn't just hang out with criminals. She orchestrated robberies, harbored fugitives, and kept her cool with a pistol strapped to each hip and feathers in her hat. The press loved her, called her the Bandit Queen. But Belle wasn't about fame. She wanted power. She played the law, manipulated judges, and even did time in prison, and came out more feared than ever. In 1889, she was ambushed and shot in the back. Her killer? Still a mystery. But legends say she saw it coming, that she knew her enemies were close and rode away. Because queens don't run, they ride. Laura Bullion. They called her the Rose of the Wild Bunch. But Laura Bullion was no damsel. She was a straight-up outlaw, and proud of it. Born to an outlaw father, Laura was raised on crime. By her teens, she was forging documents, fencing stolen goods, and running cons across the frontier. If you don't know what fencing is, it's kind of like a pawn shop. She joined Butch Cassidy's Wild Bunch, riding with Kid Curry and other famous names. She dressed as a man during heists and was rumored to be romantically linked to several gang members, but make no mistake, she wasn't anyone's sidekick. She helped pull off train robberies and bank jobs. One heist netted over $50,000, which back then, you can retire on that. Massive money for the time. But it all came crashing down in 1901 when the law caught up. She served time in prison, then vanished into quiet obscurity, dying decades later under an alias. But the legacy remains. She lived fast, fought hard, and left behind a trail of smoke and silver. Pearl Hart. Pearl Hart didn't set out to be an outlaw, but life has a way of pulling the trigger for you. Born in Canada, she ran away to the American West, chasing adventure and escaping an abusive husband. She bounced between mining towns, saloons, and schemes. And in 1899, she did something no other woman dared. She robbed a stagecoach. Dressed as a man, armed with a revolver, she and a partner held up passengers and made off with cash and supplies. When caught, her story spread like wildfire. She wasn't just a criminal. She was a woman criminal. At a time when that shattered every norm. In court, she charmed the press, posed for photos, and told reporters, "I shall not be tried under a law in which my sex had no voice in making." Absolute mic drop. She served a few years, got released early, probably for PR reasons, and disappeared into legend. Pearl Hart was wild, flawed, and free. And for one moment in the West, she made the world watch. They weren't just footnotes in someone else's story. They were the story. These women weren't perfect. They bent the rules, broke the law, and left chaos in their dust. But they did it on their terms, in a world that told them they weren't allowed to. From stagecoaches to saloons, courtrooms to gunfights, these badass women made the Wild West wilder. And they're not forgotten. Not here, not on Cracked Relic. Subscribe for more stories buried in dust and dynamite. We've got relics to unearth together.